So welcome to our All About Partners workshop. And I know that all three of us who are presenting today are super excited about doing this workshop. It's kind of funny. We all did our parts separately, but at the beginning, we all had something about how excited we are to celebrate partners. So, this is just a straight workshop. It's not like our Meet the Team. We are going to go through a couple different topics, and at the end we will have a question and answer time. You don't have to ask your question live. You can put it in the chat, and we can go over that with you. So let's talk about our topics for tonight. So today we are going to go over partners and pregnancy, partners and labor, and then partner after baby is here. So you kind of see a little bit of a trend here that we've kind of taken the pregnancy time, the birth, and then after birth, and we're going to spend time on each of those to explain things a little bit more. We will have a Q&A as well. So first off, I would like to introduce Amanda Kennedy. She is a postpartum doula on our team. She loves watching Halloween movies, but I did find out, oopsies, go back. I did find out that it's not the scary ones, right? Oh, Hallmark. See, that's
not
funny.
scary ones.
Not scary ones. Can you tell that the faces was covering part of the slide? So not Halloween, but maybe Halloween themed Hallmark movies. So as long as it's a Halloween movie with a romantic twist, then we're good. Okay. Enjoys curling up with a good book and a hot cup of coffee. And her favorite quote is, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain," which I love. So Amanda, take it away and share with us all about partners and pregnancy.
Thanks, Christy. Okay, first, congratulations. I know birth parents are typically receiving the majority of attention during pregnancy, usually because people can see that growing belly. But the reality is that your partner isn't the only one who's expecting. There's two of you having this baby and you're in it together. Secondly, and for me, most importantly, congratulations for being here tonight. I just want to take a moment and acknowledge the importance of what you're doing by being here right now. All too often, the responsibility is left to the birth parent, and it's so important to your relationship with your partner and your child that you're fully invested in whatever role you need to take. It can be really difficult sometimes for partners to know their role, especially in this pregnancy stage when it appears that the birth parent is doing the majority of the heavy lifting. So I hope tonight you leave with a lot of great ideas and information that makes you feel confident in your role as a parent and a partner. Tonight, as Christy mentioned, my focus is on the pregnancy part of the journey to becoming a parent. So how I've set this up is we're going to look at each trimester, what you can expect your partner to be experiencing, and then how to support them both physically and emotionally. Then we're going to look at some of the challenges support partners can experience and how to handle them, as well as how you can start to bond with your growing baby. And lastly, I want to look at some other practical tips you can use during pregnancy. Two common threads I hope you will likely notice is the value of communication and lots of rest. In my opinion, there's really nothing you can do during any stage of this journey that's going to be more valuable than open, honest communication and providing a lot of opportunities for rest. So let's get started. I know most of you are coming near the end of your pregnancy. However, if you've just discovered you and your partner are expecting, what are some of the first things you can do? First, you can celebrate, but you want to kind of do it the birth parent way. Keep in mind that even though your partner may not look pregnant yet, they will be feeling it. They may be tired, sick, just not up for going out. So you may need to cancel plans and stay in. You also need to prepare for the unexpected. So, for example, your previously shared favorite foods or takeout might be out of bounds when one whiff of it sends your partner running to the bathroom. Secondly, strengthen your relationship. Talk about what makes you a strong couple and how becoming parents will make you even stronger. In the coming months, your relationship will undergo unique challenges. Make sure you tell each other how much you mean to each other and be intimate in sharing your honest feelings about becoming parents too. Figure out how you'll start spreading the news. Maybe you're really anxious to spill the beans, and your partner and you need to decide how and when to tell loved ones this news. Maybe close friends and family get a phone call, other relatives get texts, everyone else checks it out when you update your social media pages. Some couples really like to wait until after the first trimester to share pregnancy news. Others like to share right away. Whatever you choose, it's a really personal decision, and just make sure you two make it together. And lastly, scan your HR benefits. Take a moment to schedule an appointment with someone in HR. Make sure you understand your company's policies on parental leave and time off, whether it's paid or not. And even remember to check your partner's workplace paternity or maternity leave policies too, because even though we're fortunate to have a government that offers maternity leave programs, many companies offer additional leave incentives that are great to know about. Okay, now on to the trimester by trimester breakdown. So, what to expect in the first trimester? The main symptoms are going to be extreme fatigue, food cravings or aversions, nausea, which can happen any time of the day, and mood swings. For physical support, the first trimester can be very physically demanding for your partner. Even though they may not look pregnant yet, as we mentioned, significant hormonal and physical changes are happening in their body. They may be exhausted, nauseous, dizzy. They may even vomit, maybe a lot. They will also likely have a very different palate than usual. Certain foods will make them gag, and they may crave foods they have never before. Your job here is to pamper your partner as much as possible. Let them sleep in, nap on weekends. Definitely don't eat anything around them that might make them feel sick or nauseous. And at times, your job may even be to bring them a bucket. Remember, these weeks can be very intense, but it'll be over before you both know it. In terms of emotional support, your partner faces the change as your partner faces the changes in their body, their identity, and the rush of hormones of the first trimester, you can expect some moodiness, along with possibly some depressed and anxious feelings. Usually, all your partner needs, though, is a good, non judgmental ear and lots of extra love. You do not have to fix anything at all, just be there to listen. Second trimester. So, during the second trimester, you usually feel a lot better than the first trimester. You're going to experience some weight gain, the term beginning to show. You'll have a growing belly and breasts, some appetite returns. Your sleep habits may change, and it might start to become difficult to find a comfortable position to sleep in. You may experience some backache, frequent urination, and headaches. So, physical support to cover those symptoms. During the second trimester, it's usually considered the honeymoon period. Usually, those sick feelings of the first trimester have passed. Some moms experience it throughout, unfortunately, but most get to say goodbye to that. Your partner's growing body hasn't become too uncomfortable yet either. So, your top job right now may be to feed your partner. That could mean late night trips to the grocery store for special cravings, um, making whatever they ask for, usually. The second trimester is a good time to help your partner adopt some healthy eating and lifestyle habits. You can make it a combined effort. You can adopt healthy habits right along with your partner. Some ideas could include cooking healthy meals for them, going on walks together, abstaining from smoking and drinking. Continue to support your partner in getting enough rest. Both of you should relax whenever you can in whatever ways work for you. It's very popular today to do things like meditation and prenatal yoga as relaxation techniques, which are fantastic. It's also just as important to do things that work well for you, like chilling on the couch and watching a favorite show. Next, you need to be aware of dehydration, especially now in the summer. Dehydration feels like the flu. It can put a birth parent in bed for a day or two, or even worse. Staying hydrated is incredibly important, but it's also a double edged sword. So, remember we shared that frequent urination is a symptom? Well, being well hydrated will likely mean the need to urinate even more frequently. So, know where the bathrooms are and don't go too long without stopping for one. Emotional support in the second trimester. So, usually at this point, both you and your partner are feeling happy and excited that you're getting closer to meeting your baby. At the same time, you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed. There could be mounting to do lists, possibly an upcoming baby shower, the big 20-week ultrasound. So, participate in all the planning as well as attending the upcoming events and appointments, and that can make a huge difference for both of you. Go to the third trimester. Can we go ahead to the next slide, Christy? Thank you. Okay, in the third trimester. So, a lot of you will be finding this coming up soon. So, your second trimester's symptoms will stick around, but they'll get stronger. They'll continue and they might amplify. Weight gain is going to make movement and activity very challenging now. And you may experience some general discomfort that can vary from individual to individual. The key is to know what ailment your partner is having and try to find ways to alleviate that discomfort, even if it's only momentarily. So, for physical support in the third trimester, this is when things are going to start to get really uncomfortable for your partner. So, the weight of the growing belly can really start to get in the way. They may experience back pains. There could be a nerve pain called sciatica, round ligament pains, and even some non labor inducing contractions called Braxton Hicks. We'll probably also experience some foot swelling and some heartburn. So, what you can do now is really focus on taking over some of the laborious household chores and encourage or sometimes insist your partner stays off their feet. You can also use this time to learn a few pregnancy massage techniques to soothe the aches and pains, and you can use them with confidence during labor and delivery too, then. You can also book a prenatal massage with a massage therapist. That's a great idea. And most health insurance plans cover some or all of that expense. Encourage your partner to relax by taking a bath and then help out by cleaning the bathtub, which is really challenging with that growing belly. The emotional support during the third trimester. You're really starting to prepare for your baby's upcoming birth now. It can be really exciting, but also kind of stressful. Prenatal visits will become more frequent. Make these a priority now if you haven't already. There'll be many questions you both have as labor and delivery draws nearer. This is also a great time to make sure you're being an active listener. Your partner will naturally have fears about birth and the postpartum period. They also may feel extra stress about preparing for the baby and making sure they have everything they need. Again, showing up, taking the time to listen, run around town to pick up any last minute items, doing some of those errands can be a great thing to do right now. Next, some challenges specific to the support partner that you may experience. So, while the birth parent experiences a lot of different physical and emotional symptoms, they're discussed quite openly and freely. Support partners also experience some interesting emotional experiences, I would say. A few that I think are really important to highlight, first off, is that you may feel invisible. You might even feel a little guilty for wanting some attention around this period, too. So, share your feelings with your partner. Let them know ways you want to be involved in questions or concerns you have, some excitement you have about being a parent and a new partner. It's really unlikely we can change the response of strangers who notice this growing belly and want to fawn over it, but your partner can acknowledge your feelings and keep you involved in the pregnancy journey. Next, support partners can neglect their own self care while focusing on caring for the birth parent. Pregnancy is a time for your partner to take care of their emotional needs, to make sure they're eating healthy foods, getting exercise, abstaining from unhealthy habits. But this is an excellent opportunity for you to do the same thing. Not only is it important for your own physical and emotional well being, it's easier for the birth parent to continue with these healthy habits when they have a partner doing the same thing alongside them. Lastly, you may be having some mixed emotions, finding it hard to connect with a growing baby, and some uncertainty surrounding the whole idea of becoming a parent. There are many things you can do to start building a connection with your baby before they are born. Some of these things include talk, read, sing to your baby. So, babies, interestingly, can hear during the second trimester of pregnancy, and they can recognize your voice in the third trimester. That includes yours. You can attend midwife or doctor's visits as much as you can. During these checkups, you'll be able to see your baby's growth and development, including their heartbeat. And these are great opportunities to track your baby's development, and they can help you begin to feel connected to your little one. You can also try a class for expectant parents. These classes will help you prepare for parenting, including the diaper changes, feeding, keeping your baby healthy, safety courses, CPR, as well as cover strategies for how to co parent. So now that's a lot of information. And after all of that, what else can you do? So listen and talk. Pregnancy and childbirth can be a lot to handle, especially for first timers and some of us old timers. So make sure your partner knows they can vent to you about all of those little and big changes going on now. Nerves about any upcoming procedures they may have, anxiety about what kind of parent they'll be, annoyance about their puffy feet. Even if you think their concerns might be a little outsized or illogical, keep that thought to yourself. And instead listen, offer to find some information, or even take an afternoon off for the two of you to have some fun together and just lighten it up a little bit and enjoy some alone time. Since you're a team, don't hold back on sharing your fears too. It's totally normal if it doesn't feel quite as carefree as it usually does. Speak up and things are going to go more smoothly for both of you. All of these worries are completely normal. And getting in the habit of talking things out and really listening to each other during the pregnancy will make things so much easier once the baby arrives and you're dealing with sleep deprivation and a lot less time. Next, pitch in. So, birth parent is really tired these days, emotionally vulnerable, and just reaching the end of the trail. So go the extra mile. Pitch in more than you usually do with some household chores, especially since her bump is not really going to be her best friend right now. She's trying to sweep the floors, make the bed, clean the tub. It's becoming very challenging. And it takes a lot of energy just to grow a baby, let alone trying to do all the extra things. So, even with all you're doing, now it's a really important time to go and find more things you can do to help out around the house. So, one really neat way I found of approaching this is to start by choosing a task that your partner usually does, preferably one that's more physically challenging, like vacuuming or cleaning up the kitchen, anything that kind of keeps them on their feet or bending over, and just start doing it yourself without asking. You get into the habit of doing that chore, pick another one and start doing that. And so on until you're the one who's normally doing some of those chores that would be hers or your partner's to do. This is going to really help with the stress level after the baby arrives as well, since you will have a good handle on what needs to happen around the house and you both will be able to juggle the baby and household needs together. If you have siblings already, you can help by taking over some of the sibling care. So, at many stages throughout pregnancy, it's going to be more challenging for the birth parent to care for other children between possible nausea, exhaustion, the belly getting in the way, aches and pains. So, spending extra time with other children will allow some time for the birth parent to rest. Also, being a lap for a child to sit on when the birth parent's belly is getting too big. They can sit on your lap beside them and share a story together. This tells your child they still have a very important place in the family, and that's going to go a long way in helping other children be accepting and excited to welcome a new family member as well. Get packing. So the birth parent obviously needs a hospital bag, but you need one too. So fill it up with stuff like a toothbrush, toothpaste, iPad, extra batteries, magazines, books to read. Don't wait till the last minute. Have your bag ready several weeks before the baby is due in case you need to rush out the door. It's not likely, but it could happen. Another fun idea could be to get some surprises for your partner, like some fancy towels she can use, a new robe or slippers to wear. Chocolate's always a good idea. You can make your contact list and choose a wingman or wingwoman. So, partners are typically in charge of texting or tweeting and otherwise sharing the news when the baby arrives. So, be organized. Talk to your partner. Make a must contact list with family and friends' email addresses or cell phone numbers. If an email blast or Facebook post isn't really your style, get a friend to help you spread the news over the phone. And on that note, make sure to involve your partner in these decisions too. Some birth parents love an Instagram of themselves and their new baby just after birth, but some would rather the world never, ever, ever see them without makeup on. So make the plan together and share the joy of sharing the joy. Next, stay informed. Of course, you all know how you got pregnant, but you likely still feel a little bit confused by all the changes that are happening in your partner's belly. So get the lowdown. Go with them to doctor's visits when you can, enroll in childbirth classes, in person or virtual. Learn about body changes and the baby's development. You can sign up for a newsletter or an app about baby's development, give you personalized day by day and week by week detailed information tracking. Your birth parent has probably signed up for this, so they're for you too. The more information you have, the more relaxed you'll feel about any issues or concerns about your partner's health and what you can do to help when baby's big day finally arrives. Get involved in the medical stuff, but ask how involved your partner wants you to be. Do they really want you at every prenatal visit? If so, do your best to be there, but also be really honest about any schedule limitations you might have. If you can't get away for every appointment, you can show interest and concern by asking questions, like, for example, did the doctor give you any advice on how to keep the vitamins down? Do your best to be at the milestone appointments, though, some when the heartbeat will be heard, for ultrasounds, for important screenings. Next, ride the wave. You will have to keep your sense of humor when you're going to be a parent. You'll just be getting on the highway and they're going to announce they need to pee. Your children will do this as well, so just get used to it. You will have told them to go, or they will have gone already, but they will need to go again. Or your partner may want to go out for a food they're craving just as you've settled down to rest after cleaning up around the house. Practice the art of compromise as well. Obviously, yes, you're going to stop again for the bathroom, but you can possibly do an IOU for the treat or suggest something similar that's already in the pantry. You'll be building up these skills when you're confronted with similar scenarios as a parent. Plus, you'll have lots of funny memories to share with your kids once they're here. Next, help your partner get in their steps. You're probably finding that it's difficult to get moving, especially near the end of pregnancy. So become their workout buddy by encouraging them to step out for a brisk walk or hike on the weekends, or just stroll around the neighborhood, especially this time of year. It's beautiful in the evenings after dinner. Make it easier to help them fall asleep. Sleep, the ever important conversation. So you can help position pillows or get them a body pillow. There's lots of pregnancy pillows options out there. Turn on a fan when they get too hot. Cuddle if they like that before falling asleep. Bring them a glass of water for the bedside table, and that's also a really great habit to get into for preparing for the postpartum period as well. Next, you can become a shopper. So even if hitting the stores or perusing baby gear online feels like torture, you can't just let her choose all the nursery furniture and baby clothes without you. And both of you will need to know how to use all of this gear. So if you really can't bring yourself to look at some of the fabric swatches and all of that stuff, you can participate in other choices like shopping for some of the really high-tech strollers that are out there, which will probably seem as complicated as choosing a car these days. Next, make some future plans. There's a lot to discuss about your baby's future. You may not have to talk about college just yet, but you should set aside some time to research things like education savings plans. I can tell you my oldest graduates high school in 4 years. She graduated grade 8 tonight, and it is never too early to start saving. Another thing you can start thinking about is childcare. Will one of you stay home after the baby is born? If you both are going to work, do you want to do daycare or hire a nanny? You obviously don't have to make a final decision yet, but do some legwork now so you don't get caught short later and you can sit and have a longer conversation before baby arrives. Next, shower them with compliments. Even though you think they've got that pregnancy glow, your partner may not be feeling like their usual self. So don't hold back on the praise or the love right now or ever. Next, be hands on. Rub their back, give them massages, especially foot massages. Suggest exploring new positions that are comfortable and exciting when or if their sex drive goes into overdrive. Maybe you could be worried about hitting the baby or the baby seeing what's going on. Don't be. They're well secured in their uterine home, out of harm's way, completely unable to view the proceedings. What you do need to make sure, though, is that your partner is feeling comfortable. So always ask what feels good and what doesn't. So lastly, I've collected a few other ideas that partners have shared with me when working with their families that I'd like to share with you. First one is read the pregnancy books too and learn as much as you can. Next, if books aren't your thing, try podcasts. I thought it was really neat when one parent shared with me that he enjoyed listening to podcasts of people he believed were role models as a parent. And I thought that was a really neat way of approaching becoming a parent, especially in such a technological stage. Watch YouTube videos. We have many available on our YouTube channel with Helping Hands. You can sign up for regular email updates if you like something that's shorter to read, especially through those pregnancy calendars that I mentioned earlier. Next, you can join online parenting groups. So many social media platforms have great groups that are not just for birth parents. Some are specifically actually for the support partner. So check those out. Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. Next, talk to other parents, especially support parents in your friend group, family, neighborhood, at work. They are probably the most likely to be honest with you about how they felt going through what you're going through, and you may feel comfortable sharing some of your concerns with them. If you want to do some internet research, a website I found that I thought was really helpful was Grow by WebMD. And my last one here is that if you've employed a birth doula, use them. They're there for your questions and concerns too. And then my final tip, when your partner is pregnant, do not eat the last anything.
That is the best advice out of the whole presentation, Amanda. Thank you. Wow, that was a lot. I hope that there was some note taking, and I know we have some of the expecting parents on today as well as the partners. So there was probably a bit of elbowing going. Are you listening to that? Especially massage stuff. So I am next, and I would like to share a bit about me. So when I was little, I wanted to be a kind nurse. I didn't really know what that was, but I wanted to be kind and I wanted to take care of people. I want to take the fear out of birth and becoming parents. I want this to be enjoyable. And I have a not so secret crush on the actress who plays Elsa, Idina Menzel. And I've had this crush from way before she was Elsa. So that's a little bit about me. I am also one of the co-owners at Helping Hands, and I like to call myself the doula of doulas because although I've been a doula for 20 years, I now don't work with clients as much. I get the awesome pleasure of working with our amazing team and helping support them so that they can support the families that we work with. So I am very blessed to have that role. And so today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges that partners have in labor. So there's a lot of worry that that you may have going into the birthing process, and we don't always pay attention to what the partners are concerned about. So you're going through this experience for the first time, many of you, and you're worried. You're worried about someone that you love. You're worried about your child that you're building a connection with before they're even here. And so, it is normal and important to just kind of acknowledge that worry is normal, and that it's okay that you feel that way. The other challenge is that, especially when it comes to birth, a lot of partners are supposed to be the expert, right? You're the support person, you're the one there in the room. And so it's like you're supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to be that all-knowing person. But the challenge is that you're going through this for the first time and you don't necessarily know all the answers. The other thing is that you're not always paid a lot of attention to at the hospital. So, kind of like the pregnancy, there's a lot of focus on the parent that's in labor, which of course makes sense, but there's also another parent in the room as well. So, don't be afraid to ask questions, and allow yourself to experience this journey of your baby's birth story as well. And a lot of partners don't know what to do. So, you have all of these tools in your toolbox potentially, and you've made all of these notes in your classes, but can you remember them all when you need them? And that can be a big challenge. So here's some tips and tricks. Number one, prepare. So even though you're probably going to forget a lot of the stuff that you listen to and read and learn in the classes, it's still important for you to prepare for the birth. You need to realize what it's going to be like and have those tools available, even if it does take a reminder from your birth doula in order to use those tools. You still want to make sure that you have that information in the back of your mind. You want to plan for the unexpected and roll with the punches. So it's actually not like the movies, and there are not a lot of literal punches being thrown in the labor and delivery room, although that's what a lot of people think. But we want to roll with the metaphorical punches. So we may have our birth preferences worked out, and you have all of those things discussed. And then instead of going this way, labor goes this way. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's good or bad, it's just different. But we need to be able to be flexible and really go with the flow when it comes to birth. The biggest thing that I like to share with people is that babies are not typically born on the side of the road. I feel like this is one of the biggest concerns that partners have. When do we need to go to the hospital? How do I time contractions? And and it's because when it happens, it's on the news. So we hear, baby born on the 401 side of the 401 or the 407 recently. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't happen very often. If it happened often, it wouldn't be news. So you have to keep that in mind, that this happens very rarely. And typically it is with experienced parents. So you would think they would know, but their body's done this before. So things just kind of happen a little bit faster. But with first time parents, a lot of times it is a waiting game, and you need to really just be patient and allow things to build as it should. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So when you are in the labor and delivery room and things are happening, make sure that you ask questions if you're not 100% sure, but also pay attention to the laboring parent. is she feeling comfortable with the way things are going? Do you know her best? So, sometimes we don't necessarily feel comfortable asking medical staff for more time or asking the questions, but you're there to kind of help with that as well. So saying, is there anything else we can do right now? Would it be okay if she waits a little while if that's what she wants? Is it okay if we have a little bit of time to talk about this between the two of us and then you can come back in? Those are all really important times because it's not about what happens during that labor and birth, it's how you feel about everything that happened. If there happens to be any emergency or urgent experiences that happen, when everything settles down, it's okay to talk to the nurse about it. A lot of you who are joining us are clients at Helping Hands, so you have birth doulas, and so you already know to reach out and ask questions throughout the experience. But if you do not have a birth doula to explain what happened and why the hospital staff did what they did, make sure that you ask the nurse. Say, so what happened? You know, with all of the excitement, why did the room fill up with people? Is everything okay now? What are we looking for that would be signs that are not okay? And you would think that maybe it seems like you're bothering them, but they actually really like to see this. They like to see partners who are invested and involved. Don't take things personally. I remember when I was in labor, I had like the worst nausea, and I loved my midwife, but at one point I looked at her and I said, "Stop breathing on me." And it was because she had been eating yogurt and she was helping me with the breathing, and she was breathing close to my face, and I yelled at her. And then after the contraction was done, I was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it." And I can't tell you how many times this has happened during labor as well. You'll have a partner that just kind of snaps during a contraction, and then afterwards is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." So don't take things personally. What happens in the labor and delivery room stays in the labor and delivery room. So, make sure that you know that when you're in labor, people do all sorts of crazy things that they don't necessarily mean. So just to be kind of aware of that. Another tip that I usually tell people is to match the mood of the laboring parent. So this is extremely important. Early labor is different than active labor. Early labor, it's like not much is happening. Life is going on like normal. So if you're a joker normally and you like to make her laugh, then you can still go ahead and do that. Make light of things, talk to her, distract her. But what you'll notice is as things transition from early labor to active labor, there's a shift in her focus. And now, during contraction, she's much more, focused on her breathing. Distractions are not helpful. So if she's not talking very much, then you should also, talk in a lower voice, maybe use less words. Don't ask questions at the middle of a contraction. Those are the type of things that tend to get people yelled at. So I would say that 1 minute that the contraction is going on, you can wait the 1 minute to ask the question and be her bodyguard when it comes to nurses asking questions during contraction as well. So especially when you arrive at the hospital and they're not really paying attention to what's going on. They don't know how intense the contractions are. They might be saying a whole bunch of stuff as they're inputting in the computer. You can answer those questions for her, or you can say, she's just having a contraction. She'll answer in a minute. So, be aware of that, and it's okay to say that. It's actually quite nice to have a partner speak up and allow you to have the space that you need to go through labor the way that you need to. allow yourself to feel emotions. So as partners, a lot of partners feel like they have to be strong, right? They have to be the strength throughout the process. And that's why I love when families have birth doulas. I know I am totally biased, but the reason is that when there is someone else there, maybe not a birth doula, although that's my preference, but maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, but someone who is there to support the supporter. So you can see where my passion lies. It's always in supporting the people who are supporting. And when that is in place, it allows you as the partner to really experience what you need to experience. And it's so awesome. I know some people, when they're at a wedding, instead of watching the bride come down the aisle, they look at the groom. I love to look at partners after the baby has been born, like right after, because the look in their faces is just worth $1,000,000. So allow yourself to feel that joy, that excitement, that nervousness as well. All of those things are normal and totally fine to show. So that's what I have to share with all of you. I hope you enjoyed our chat with labor related stuff. And now I would like to introduce Sharon. Sharon's support comes from the heart, and babies and parents feel that. Her favorite food is cookies, and she would eat them all the time if she could. And I just want to say something about, her care coming from the heart. It really does show, and clients tend to latch on to her and send her cards years down the road, which is so nice to see. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So take it away.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Nan Cave. Um, a lot of people do call me the Nana Doula, and I'm Sharon. I'm a postpartum doula. And everything Christy said is true. I would kill for a cookie, but I really do love my families. They're so important to me. And the best thing anybody can do for me is send me updated pictures. You can ask the girls. I'm always showing my babies because, as far as I'm concerned, they're all mine. So there you go. So today we're going to talk about postpartum with partners, because that's my main focus. I'm with the families after the baby's born and when they come home. And we should celebrate Partners Day. We should change the name of Father's Day, as far as I'm concerned. It should be Father's Day. And to me, they're the silent heroes of the day. And I think we should honor them with Partners Day instead of just Father's Day. With COVID, the lockdown, parents have been on their own to start their family life without much help. Our partners are now expected to fill in for the whole village that used to be there, with the female coaches that many women counted on in the past. And now you guys are kind of isolated and just there on your own. And it's really a challenge. Many of today's partners are eager and very active in their new arrival, unlike the old days when the dads just maybe changed a diaper, but cuddling them was kind of the norm. Now these partners are very involved. We seem reluctant to give acknowledgement to our partners, and some birth parents are critical of their efforts, and it's unfortunate. Many people work harder with praise than criticism. And this is what the dads sometimes come to me, the birth partners come and say, I can't do anything right. And, just a little bit of confidence and a little bit of gratitude goes a really long way. Our natural inclination when we talk to a new family is the first thing we do is we ask about the baby, and then we ask about the mom, and then we totally exclude the birth partner's well-being. And this is a partnership, some support partners experience many of the same worries and concerns as the birth parent, but they lack the same network and support of their friends and family to ask advice or are able to vent and bounce thoughts off. The birth parent seems to get all the attention and support, whereas the support parent is neglected. And I do find that in a lot of the families that I go and stay with. Just remember, everybody's a winner when we have two active and engaged parents. Support parents can benefit from some of the positive chemical stimulation when they're skin to skin with their baby. So enjoy that. Partners are now taking on some of the roles of bathing, feeding, burping, and changing. And many are now extremely involved in household activities. They're shopping, cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, all while still trying to work and support the family financially. So it's totally understandable that some of today's partners are very stressed and overwhelmed. So some tips to help you with this journey. We're going to talk about with the baby first. The first thing I'd like you to know is that babies are not as delicate as they look, or that people have maybe led you to believe. Don't be afraid of breaking them or hurting them. When you hold them with confidence in a comfortable way, that's their sense of security. So just snuggle them. You don't have to do the this hold, some of the dads do. Remember that newborns are distracted by their tummies. Remember that the first few weeks of life, babies are only aware of self. They're born knowing mom's smell, voice, and heartbeat, and they're being led entirely by their tummy cues. So don't take it personally if it's challenging for you to settle your unhappy baby. It's very common. Start wearing your partner's clothes. Now, this may be easier for some people than others, but for the ones that don't necessarily fit into mom's t-shirt, you can wear a dirty t-shirt or nightie, hopefully with a little residue of mother's milk. And you can just wrap it around your shoulders or across your chest when you're comforting baby. Sometimes that little trick really works. Become a shush master. So what I mean by that, loud shushing in the baby's ear when actively bouncing, jiggling, or any movement. So that's the shh, shh. So many times when I go to families, they think I'm really loud with that because I'm close to their ear, but they've been inside mom's tummy and they've been hearing gurgling and heartbeats and all kinds of stuff that's really loud. So being a good shush master lots of times is what you need to soothe your baby. Don't be afraid that you're being too gentle. The baby has bounced around in mom's tummy, and you're not going to hurt the baby when you're bouncing the baby, as long as you're always supporting their neck and their head. That's the two important things. But bouncing with them is a really good way of comforting them. Direct eye contact when cuddling. This is so important. The perfect eye level for a newborn is basically from breast to eyes. And so that can work with you too. If you're cuddling your baby and you're snuggling them, like spend the time looking in their eyes and cuddling. No electronic devices, no holding the baby while you're scrolling through your phone. This is one of the baby's biggest love languages, is to read you by your eyes. And so it really does help to build a really good bond. So spend that time looking lovingly into their little eyes. Making different sounds. So babies like sound. They usually don't like quiet. So you should, some white noise, baby songs, or other music that the baby finds soothing. Mirror their expressions. Now this is mainly once they get a little bit bigger. But looking at them doing what they're doing, that really connects you with them. Talk lovingly to them. Give them the love talk. They really understand that is love, whether they don't know the words or not. You can massage their backs, their legs, their heads and shoulders very gently, but most babies do enjoy having a little massage. Spend as much time as you can with the baby. That's so important. Every time that you do this, you're bringing yourself closer to a great bond with the baby. And I know with COVID, the partners did get that opportunity in a lot of cases to spend a lot more time with the baby. Be prepared, okay? Be a Boy Scout, be prepared. Be ready for everything before you start. For example, diaper change. Before you open up that diaper present, remember that a punami is real, okay? I've experienced a few of them. Have your clean diaper ready and open, your wipes close at hand and ready to use. And don't unload that diaper till you are ready, okay? That's a big one. Bath time. Again, have everything ready. Make sure the bath temperature at the bath area is warm. Don't take off the baby's clothes until the water is poured and ready. They hate being cold. So many times I'll go and the parents will go, oh, my baby hates the bath. I think it's because they're not prepared. The room is cold. The water, by the time they get the baby out of their clothes, is a little cool. And then they dip them into this like cold bath. And of course they don't like it. So making sure it's warm enough. I use a little face cloth, a baby face cloth over their chest with the warm water to help keep them warm as well. So having your baby soap and lotion open and ready to go, having a little cup that you can scoop up some warm water and keep pouring it on them, that will help. Have your towels open and ready to use right away. Have their fresh clothes and their diaper. So be prepared, have all these things ready. Some babies don't always enjoy the bath for much more than 3 to 5 minutes at the beginning. So it's not necessarily a 20-minute, half an hour fun time with them at the beginning. Sometimes it's just getting them used to this whole new adventure, and lots of babies don't like to be naked. Help with feedings. So if you're feeding by bottle, spoon, or syringe, have your feeding area ready with everything you need before you start. Have your comfortable pillow, have your bib, have a small towel for them, burp cloth, get your milk ready at the right temperature. And also here's a little trick that usually gets you pointers, is having a notebook close at hand, documenting the time and the amount they consumed, because for sure the birth partner is going to ask you and you're going to go, oh, I'm not sure what time we started and I don't know how much they drank. So be very conscious of that and make notes for if you're keeping a log of things like that. Taking the baby out for a little outing. Before you leave, check and make sure you have everything. Your diaper bag should be packed with lots of diapers, wipes, a change of clothes, blanket, a wrap, your bottles, your stroller, your carrier. Summertime, you should have some sunscreen, a hat, a soother, and anything else that is going to make this a fun time. So really being prepared is really going to help you a lot. So taking care of the birth parent. The birth parent needs some time to recover from this marathon journey of late, and some pampering or conscious kindness goes a long way. Knowing how to install the car seat correctly is going to be really good. Assembling baby furniture, the change stations, having everything ready. And these are all things that are stresses for the birth parent, that you can take these things off her to-do list. Be proactive will get you a long way. Take with the birth parent snacks. Take some of her favorite fruit, vegetables, cheese, and always bring her a drink without her asking for it. Just bringing it. That's the good thing. You show up with anything, makes her feel important. Gentle massage of her shoulders, her neck, and her feet. They're usually always welcome. Warm up a beanbag in the microwave. For her, sometimes she'll like heat, or sometimes take her an ice pack, depending on what she's feeling at the time. Here's a good trick, okay? Offer her a warm towel when she comes out of the shower. Now, how can you do that? Throw it in the dryer for 3 to 5 minutes. Comes out nice and toasty warm. Or if you don't have a dryer on the level where the shower is, you can always get a heating pad and put the heating pad in the middle of the towel. for 15, 20 minutes. And then when she comes out, she's got this really nice warm towel. And that's really a big bonus for mom. While she's in the shower, you can fluff up the pillows, straighten the bed sheets. Bring her favorite things, like her favorite flowers a little bit, her favorite treats that she's been craving, and spend time with her chatting while she's feeding. It can be a really lonely time for your partner, and they do feel isolated sometimes. So by you being involved and actively being with her and chatting with her, really gives you a lot of points. Send her a little love note and leave it on her pillow, or text her a little love message. Keep track of the baby's feeding times and quantities, time at the breast, diaper output. What else? Hold on. And any other things that the birth parent may require, such as pain medication or upcoming appointments for her and the baby. Baby brain is real, and the birth the birth parent is going to be struggling to try and keep on top of everything. So you will definitely move way up the superhero scale if you're helping out with any of these things. Let's hope that in years to come, we'll look back at this COVID lockdown time as just what we needed to get back to bonding and some quality time as a family. We're always on the rush, crazy fast lane of life. And maybe we were given COVID for a reason. Maybe that is to bring, you guys as a family close together. And I really hope it does. So that is my little ditty on things that you can do around the house to be close with the baby, to help mom as she recovers, and just enjoy this time, because you turn around and they're in high school. Ask Christy. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer them for you. I hope you enjoyed our presentation tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Amanda and Sharon. I hope that everyone who was here today or is watching the recording feels the love that we have for the partners. I hope that that's what you kind of get from this. Yes, we gave you tips and ways to be that superhero mind reader that everybody wishes that their partner was, but really we want to celebrate you, and we want you to know how important you are to this whole process. So I hope that you learned something, took some notes, and we're here to answer some questions if you have them.